This is the Class Gateway at Ohio University, adjacent to historic College Green. The class of 1912 gifted this area to the university. Then the class of 1949 had a gift of this current configuration that was erected in 1960. This past week, it opened back up, refurbished, repolished, renovated, and certainly ready for you to see when you come to Athens and Ohio University. And it's a perfect spot for our Week 7 game week preview. Ohio and Eastern Michigan. The Bobcats are 4-2 and 2-0. The Eagles are 4-2 and 1-1. I'm Russ Eisenstein, the voice of the Ohio Bobcats, and our game week preview is presented by the Athens County Convention and Visitors Bureau. A gateway, by definition, is a spot to walk through, take a look around, and see what's going on. A gateway in regards to a football season, well, stats. That opens things up. Stats certainly don't lie. You could take a look at what's happened and perhaps what can happen in the future. The stats for Ohio, the gateway stats, well, they are golden, and Ohio ranks very favorably nationally. Ohio is 37th in the land in total defense. Remember, there are 128 teams that play on the highest level of college football, so Ohio ranks right up there. Then you go inside the top 5, and Ohio is there too. Turnovers caused, Ohio is 3rd in the land, behind Washington and Texas A&M, two pretty good ball clubs. Then in turnover ratio, Ohio is 3rd, behind Washington and Western Michigan, the team from the MAC that's currently ranked, and number 1 in sacks. Ohio is 25 of them, ahead of Washington, ahead of Michigan, Boise State, and Ball State. Those numbers are to be respected. This spot on Ohio's campus is to be respected, and the opposition this week, well, they're to be respected too. Eastern Michigan football hasn't won all that much over the years, but they call their stadium and their football building the factory, and they want to build something special there. The further respect goes from the fact that they've been able to tune out all sorts of stuff and just zone in, play football, and win. Head coach Chris Creighton, his staff, and his players are to be commended and respected for that. A lot of talk in the Detroit media, a lot of talk nationally that's involved them. It's not our place to debate or talk about the HBO special that included them in the Real Sports feature. No, we're talking about the fact that they've been able to zone all that out and have a great season to start it off. And so they are to be respected when they come into Athens on Saturday. They want to build something big there. They want to win more now than they've won in the past. Eastern Michigan isn't heavy on football tradition. Its lone bowl trip was in 1987. The Hurons, as they were called then, beat San Jose State in the California Bowl. Remember, the league champion was the only one that went bowling back then. The Eagles haven't had a winning season since 1995. They were bowl eligible in 2011, but didn't get an invitation. In the 4 seasons after that, and before this one, they won just 7 games combined. They have a shot to get to that number this season. The problem for them, though, is the top of the West is tough. Regardless, this is a heck of a step for their program. The wins are over Mississippi Valley State, at Charlotte, Wyoming, and at Bowling Green. That's 3 non-conference and 2 on the road. The losses were at Missouri 61-21 and last week 35-20 at home to Toledo. EMU is tied with Ohio for 4th in the league in scoring with just over 32 points per game. It's 5th in total offense with 425 yards per contest. Ohio's 6th with 1 yard less, 424. They've worked with 2 quarterbacks, Brogan Roback and Todd Porter. Roback was suspended for the first 2 games, and Porter was injured at Bowling Green and didn't play against Toledo. Combined, they've thrown 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Sergio Bailey II, Nigel Kilby are their top targets with over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns combined. The running game took a hit when Shaq Van was hurt at Missouri, so Ian Erickson stepped up. He has 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Defensively, they give up 30 points per game and 406 yards per. That's 7th and 8th, respectively, in the league. Linebacker Kyle Rockwall is 6th in the league in total tackles with 51. They have 12 sacks and 4 interceptions. In the red zone, they've stopped the opposition better than anyone but Miami in the league. They've scored at a percentage that only trails Toledo in the MAC. Speaking of red zone efficiency, Ohio wants to keep improving that. The Bobcats currently are right in the middle of the pack in the MAC, 6th in that regard. There have been 7 Players of the Week in the MAC on the eastern side, and redshirt freshman safety Javon Hagan for his efforts in the win last week over Bowling Green. Well, he's the D Player of the Week on the eastern side, and that's pretty impressive. This is meeting 32 all-time between these 2 schools, the only 2 green teams in the MAC. The last time that they met, that was up in Ypsilanti back in 2013. Ohio won it 56-28. That's 6 in a row that the Bobcats have won over the Eagles. Eagles. The last loss was back in 1999. Ohio fell 27-26 at Peden Stadium. There was a blocked extra point at the end of that one that swung the game over to EMU. Our coverage on the Ohio IMG Sports Network begins at 1 o'clock as Rob Cornelius, Ryan Boyd, and I will paint the picture for you. The kickoff is at 2. It's also on ESPN 3. It's Ohio and Eastern Michigan. That's our gateway into week number 7 of Bobcat football. I'm Russ Eisenstein for Derek Mashiro. This is Bobcat TV, presented by the Athens County Convention and Visitors Bureau, on the web at AthensOhio.com.